We are live for another episode of the Couch Warrior podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mike, and today we're going to be breaking down Dana White's Contender Series Week 5. Real quick, let me fix my camera. It's bothering me. I feel like it's not straight. And I like it when it's straight. I guess it's a little better. It's a little closer. I got to work on that later. But yeah, we're going to be doing Dana White's Contender Series. I believe I have not done a single breakdown for Contender Series, a single video breakdown for Dana White's Contender Series this year. Just haven't had the time. It started literally when I was getting married. Now I'm back. Now today I was able to get all the tape done. I've been working all day, trying to also fit in the tape. Got home, been taping, and then it was about 10 minutes ago. I was like, screw it, let's do a pod. So we're gonna do a pod. We got 5 fights to talk about, not a ton to talk about, so I don't expect this to be a super long video. I think it's gonna be under 20 minutes, but who knows? I start ranting and then I lose myself. But we're gonna start it off. We got the first fight of the night. Shanelle Dyer versus Foro. Dyer, she's going to be 6-0 undefeated, 24 years old, 5'6" with a 64-inch reach. Foro on the other side, 8-1-0. She's 28, so she's 4 years older. She's going to be 4 inches shorter. I think it's a little less than that, but she is definitely shorter. We saw the face-offs today, and she's going to have a 2-inch reach disadvantage. So honestly, probably the best fight of the night, at least skill level. These two are probably two of the better skill fighters on the card, and I'm pretty excited for both. I think both of them are UFC caliber. Maybe they still need a little bit of work before, they get to the rankings or anything like that. But I think they both belong in the UFC, and especially at strawweight, I think they're solid additions to the roster. Now, this is at strawweight, not flyweight. Dyer's coming back down. She did fight at strawweight in her amateur career, and then she went up to flyweight, I believe, her entire pro career, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I know in PFL is for sure flyweight. Let's check for the other ones. Yeah, she's been at flyweight her whole pro career. When she was AMI, she was at strawweight, but not even then for the whole thing. It was, the last few fights were at flyweight as well. But she looks good. She looks like she made the weight just fine. She didn't look like she struggled too much, and she did look like the much bigger woman during the face-offs. I think they match up really, similar. Like they both have really similar styles. Neither of them is much of a grappler. Both of them are primarily strikers. Foro, I would say her grappling is a little bit worse than Dyer's. Her takedown defense, not quite good. Not really stuffing the takedowns well. Haven't seen it tested too much. And like the one woman she did lose to, Beatrice Consola, I believe is her name. She's actually pretty good. So it's not like a terrible loss. And, being out grappled by her isn't horrible either. It's not like Dyer's really primarily a grappler. So I could see Foro stuffing takedowns. And if she keeps on the feet, it's going to be super competitive. But if anyone was to have any grappling upside, it would be Dyer. I think there is a possibility she shoots if she starts to get uncomfortable. And I think there's a chance that Foro does make her uncomfortable because Dyer on the feet, like I think in the pocket, it's close. I think Foro is better in the pocket. I think she's more dangerous. She's got crazy power for the weight class. We just don't see that often, even against lower level comp. You don't really see strawweights knocking out other strawweights, and she's knocking them out cold. She's got really solid striking in the pocket, swings real hard, good body work also, and she's got a lot of good forward pressure. And I can see that giving Dyer problems because I think Dyer is better at range. I think as long as she can maintain the distance, she's got a better jab. She's got the cleaner straight strikes. She's going to have the reach advantage. She's going to have the length, and she's going to be the much better kicker. Her kicking game is really good leg kicks, head kicks, body kicks, mixes it up really well. I worry about fighters who throw more kicks than hands sometimes. It's not like my favorite style in the world, but she mixes it up pretty well, and she is using her hands. It's not like it's just kicks like Shara half the time. She's actually mixing it up, using all her weapons and targeting all the targets. So I really like that. But I think Foro can make her uncomfortable because how do you beat a kicker? You take away the space, you take away the kicks when you do that. And Foro is the type of fighter who's going to close the distance, and she could make Dyer uncomfortable by taking away the kicks. And then if you just have a straight up boxing affair, it starts to get a lot closer. In terms of who I lean towards winning the fight, I think it's going to be Dyer. I think the line kind of makes sense to me. I think even up to like 70% would have made sense to me. I do rate Foro, but I think the size advantage for Dyer is pretty significant. I think she's going to be stronger. I think if they clinch up, I think she's going to be winning in the clinch. Like I said, I think Foro is a little bit better in the pocket. Maybe Foro hits harder, but I think Dyer's cleaner at range. If anyone has grappling upside, it's her, and she's going to be competitive in the pocket and boxing range as well. It's not like she's completely out there. So I have to favor Dyer, but it's a really good fight. I do think it goes the distance, though. I know some people are targeting the under, and for a strawweight fight to have an under that's actually kind of close, like -160 on the over 2.5, that's not horrible. I don't really see them finishing each other. What's good, Dravi? Was literally talking these fights with him maybe 10 minutes ago. All right, next up, we have Chasen Blair versus Samuel Sanches. Blair, 7-3-0, 26 years old, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. Sanches on the other side, 10-1-0. He's 22, 4 years younger. He's going to be 2 inches taller. Don't have his reach. It's probably on UFC stats now, but I don't know how correct they are because they have them listed as the same height. And they're obviously not if you look at the face-offs, unless one of them was wearing shoes, but it looked like Sanches was barefoot. So he's definitely the bigger guy. They're giving him a 74-inch reach on UFC stats. So technically he has a 3-inch reach advantage. Pretty sure he's 2 to 3 inches taller. Dravi's saying 6'1" for Sanches. And it's a really interesting matchup. It's tricky because I could only find 3 fights on Sanches. 2 of them, he knocked them out very quickly. And then there was the one where he went the distance with the guy who doesn't have the prettiest record in the world. Let me pull it up. I could just do it here. It was this fella. Yeah. Sergio de Jesus Santos. So like that was the only fight I have where he goes the distance. He's done it twice, but that's the only fight I had where he goes all 15 minutes. And like from what I can see, he's a good striker. He's really good in the pocket. His counters are really nice. He has good body work. He hits hard. He has a good jab that he works off of well. Good kicks, nice combinations. He's a good striker, and he has a lot of power. Like, not knocking out that guy, this dude, Santos, like, it's not the best look in the world, but if you look at Santos's record, he's losing a lot, but it's mostly by decision. Now, it's not against the biggest power punchers in a lot of those fights, but still, he seems like a durable guy, just not the highest level. And when you look at that fight with Sanches, I thought Sanches looked good. I thought the striking looked good. Takedown defense looked good, although very low level, so probably not the same as someone like Chasen Blair. But, you look for the right things. When you have fights like this where it's guys on the regional scene and really low-level competition, you can't just look at them stuffing takedowns and be like, they have good takedown defense. You actually have to kind of look at what they're doing. Are they fighting the hands? Are they trying to use their underhooks? Are they creating distance? Are they keeping their back to the fence, when they're fighting the hands, trying not to have their back taken, that kind of stuff. You look at the hips. Hips are really important when it comes to takedown defense. Wrestling in general, hips are super important in scrambles. But when you look at it, he's doing the right things. And I didn't love that he can get clinched up a little bit. Santos was able to hold him in the clinch a bit, and he's not really the most physical guy. So I didn't love that. And I also thought that Sanches kind of slows down. It's not the best look in the world. Like, he's fighting this guy, Santos. He's got clearly all the advantages. He's clearly the better fighter, but yet he's slowing down, and the output was kind of really going down towards the end. But overall, I am relatively impressed with him. Would be nice to see him against better competition. Oh, yeah, and then there was the one fight that he lost where he took the guy down, was beating him on the feet, and then the guy went for a heel hook and submitted him, and it's not great, but he was also, 19 in that fight, and the guy who submitted him, all 8 of his wins are by subs. So he got the one thing he was good at. Maybe a bad fight IQ move by Sanches there, taking the fight to the mat when he didn't need to. But that's something you learn, and that's a problem with really young fighters, 19 especially, but now at 22, still young, still an age I kind of worry about when it comes to fight IQ, but I think he's got a pretty decent ceiling. And out of the 2 of them, I kind of expect more improvements from him. I know Blair's only 26, and he can also get better, but it kind of feels like he's a semi-finished product. Like, he's probably not. Like, he's probably going to get a little bit better, but I don't know how much he's going to add to it. I look at Blair. He's a good wrestler. He's got that wrestling background, wrestled in college, solid level there. And when he wrestles in MMA, like, it works. He's translated to mixed martial arts well. He can get the takedowns. He has good entries, good timing. The control's not the best, but it's solid. He has a slick back take. He does it really quickly. He has good ground and pound, very aggressive. So when I look at the grappling, I do think he can probably take down Sanches. Sanches hasn't fought a grappler like him. He hasn't fought a guy who with the wrestling credentials of Blair. So I think Blair can probably take him down. I don't know if it's going to be easy, though, because like I said, Sanches seems to do the right things. He is training at a grappling heavy camp. Wouldn't call it a grappling camp, but grappling heavy camp. All the names we know, at least from that camp, are grapplers. Some guys there, terrible, like Cerquera, but some solid guys like Almeida, too. And if you look at Almeida's tape when he was coming onto the Contender Series, this tape was also against really low-level comp, and he wasn't showing great striking. Sanches is already showing good striking, so it's a start. And then when you look at Blair's striking, I feel like he's a little bit square with his stance. He wings a little bit wild. He does have some nice straight punches, good straight right hand. He's got a solid jab, but he's got a lot of hooks also, a lot of loops to his strikes. The kicks are good. He's got a solid front kick he'll thread in. He's got the body kick that's pretty nice. The leg kicks are solid. And he does have power, and I do think Sanches is a little bit hittable. But when I look at how they match up on the feet, I think Blair will have big moments. I think he'll probably land some big shots. I could see Sanches maybe having his back to the fence, Blair landing some big hooks, Sanches trying to cover up. But overall, I feel like Sanches is a cleaner striker. I think he's faster. I like his body work better. I think that he also has good power. I think he's also liable to hurt Blair. I think that at range, I definitely favor him. In the pocket, it can get a little dicey. I could see Blair definitely landing some big shots, some big hooks. But at range, I favor Sanches a little bit. I think his kicks are better. I think his speed is better. I think his reactions are better. I think his defense is better than Blair. And then Blair also, we all know, like his cardio is a problem. Pretty much anytime he's getting out of the first round, anytime he's being pushed, he's not really having the greatest fight. He can make mistakes. He, like in the Hassanzada fight, that one didn't even get extended. That was like the first round. He lost the Cody Steele fight. We all know that. He had a solid first round, then kind of fell off a cliff, started to react poorly to the body shots, and Sanches will throw body work. So it's tricky because we're working with really little information, particularly on the Sanches side. We have plenty on Blair. We know all about him at this point, but don't know a lot about Sanches. And if you're betting on it, you're making a lot of assumptions. I don't have a single bet on this card yet. I don't hate Sanches. Now that the line's kind of coming in and more money's coming in on Blair, I could see myself possibly getting to a Sanches play, but if it remains at pick'em, I don't really feel like there's an edge because I'm just guessing. I'm just assuming, especially with the level of competition on the Sanches side. So I'll lean Sanchez's way. Let's call it around 2 KO, but not a super confident take. Like I just think he has a higher ceiling. He's a better striker, and I have a gut feeling that he will be able to stuff a lot of the takedowns. That's really what it comes down to for me. Let's go, JB. Good to see you in here. All right, we can move on. I swear this fight ruined my mood for 2 hours today. I don't know why. Sometimes things just piss me off, and this is one of them. We have Felipe Franco versus Freddy Vidal. Felipe Franco 8-0, undefeated. 24 years old, 6'1". Don't have his reach. Vidal on the other side, 3-0, also undefeated. He does also have wins as an amateur. I forget how many. I can pull it up. Yeah, he's 4-0 as an AMI too. So decent record. He's don't have his age on here. Let's see if UFC stats can help us. Don't have his age, his height, or anything. Let's see what UFC stats has. Freddy Vidal, UFC stats. Not coming up. Okay. Let's try Franco. Okay, they got him. 6'1", 76-inch reach for Franco. 6'3", 79-inch reach for Vidal. So he should have a reach advantage, and he's a bit taller as well. Although at face-offs, maybe he looked like an inch taller. So I mentioned that this fight pissed me off a little bit, and I'll tell you why. It's because I don't understand. First of all, on the coach's side, if you're Franco's coaches or manager, I get it. You want to make his record pretty, so he'll make it to the UFC. Sure. So you can get your cut, right? But he's going to sign a 15-15 contract or 12-12, whatever it is. You get whatever the cut is. I forget off the top of my head. I think it's somewhere between 10 and 30%. You get a 10 and 30% cut of the 12 and 12. You didn't prepare your fighter at all because you gave him a bunch of absolute terrible, I don't even want to call them fighters. You gave them a bunch of civilians that they beat up. didn't test themselves whatsoever, took a couple cool pictures where they looked ripped like this one, and then you just got them a Dana White's Contender Series fight. You get them a quick win, and then they're in the UFC. They do terrible because you obviously didn't prepare them at all because you didn't test them at all on the regional scene, which is where that's supposed to happen. And then they get cut, and there goes your money. So if you're the manager coach, good job. You get him to the UFC, and then he gets cut, and then there goes any of your income. Great. And then if you're Franco, I mean, he's probably just listening to the people around him, so you can't blame him that much. But I mean, my God, like, I have respect for all fighters, but again, I don't consider these people fighters. You go and you look at the people Franco is fighting. These are not fighters. I would bet on a lot of my friends against them, and my friends don't have mixed martial arts experience. It's just like, I'm not even exaggerating. It's horrible. The people he's fighting are horrendous. And the one guy who even looked like a fighter, let me pull him up. The one guy who even looked like maybe kind of a fighter, like he could be okay. He's like 2-3, I think now. Who is he? It was this guy, Ivan Nilsson Diaz. He's 1-2 now. I'm pretty sure that's the right one. He hurt Franco. He hurt him on the feet in the early beginnings of that fight. In like the first minute or two, he literally knocks down Franco. I forget what it was, lands a big shot. Franco goes down, and then Franco's able to grapple him. Like, what is Franco? He's a grappler, kind of like a Jalton Almeida light. I was calling him Walmart Almeida all day. Like, he could very well be good. We just don't know. Like, the people they're putting him up against, it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the sport. It's a terrible look. See, this is what I said. I can go all day about this stuff. It really pissed me off, but it's just nuts. Like, does he look decent? Yeah, he looks decent. I can't tell about his striking because he doesn't really strike. He'll throw a couple punches and then just close the distance. But his wrestling looks decent enough. He's explosive. Same weight class as Jalton. At least Jalton used to be a light heavyweight before he went up to heavyweight because it's easier. But it has a very similar style. It takes guys down, mounts them, ground and pound, or a submission. And, you know, you can also say, like, if you looked at Jalton's tape pre-UFC, he was also fighting horrible competition and also fighting guys who didn't really look like MMA fighters. So it's entirely possible that Franco is the real deal. I don't like seeing this. I don't know if anybody likes seeing this. You pull it up and it's like not fighters and he's just running over them. And it's like, good job. Good job. And honestly, like Freddy Vidal, you look at him. Yeah, he hasn't fought anybody that great either. But honestly, Anthony Wilson 2-4, Mike Lee 0-0, Mike Kennedy 1-1. I would take any of them over Felipe Franco's competition. I would bet on any of them against them because I just think Freddy Vidal is fighting at least fighters, maybe not great fighters, but he's fighting fighters. Franco is fighting straight up civilians. I really feel like they just went and just picked somebody up, like maybe not off the street, but maybe in the stands, maybe in the gym. They found like a new guy. He just came in 2 weeks ago. Started his trial. Hey, dude, you've been looking great. You want to get an MMA fight in? I think you're ready. And they just feed him to Franco. It's like they don't even try. At least try. Like, if you're gonna get him a dude with no experience, who's not a fighter and obviously not good at fighting, get him like a bodybuilder or someone who at least looks scary, and you can be like, see, he beat that guy. No, they just get the most random person in the world. Hey, get in there with him. Anyways. With Vidal, we don't have a ton of tape. There's only like 2 fights available for him. One of them was the pro fight. I believe it was the Mike Lee fight. And the other one was an amateur fight. I do not remember which one it was. I think it might have been the Jarrell Cromartie fight, I think. I don't remember off the top of my head. But we know a decent bit about Vidal, at least a little bit. He's a wrestler. That's his style. Solid wrestling from what I've seen. Again, level of competition quite low. So don't really know how to weigh it. But comes from okay credentials. He's got a little bit of wrestling. Seems heavy on top. Seems like he has good ground and pound. He's aggressive. He's gone the distance. I wish I could see that fight so I could see what it looked like, but that's already more than I can say about Franco, who's never left the first round. At least with Vidal, he's gone the distance. He's gone to the third round in the Cromartie fight, even though it says that it finished in the third. Maybe I was just like rushing, but I'm pretty sure he finished him. Like the second round ends and then they just like didn't really start. And then they called the fight and Vidal won. But regardless, his striking's not great, but it seems okay. Like he's got a jab, decently straight right hand, seems to carry some power. And I've seen Franco drop by a not a good fighter at all. So I don't see why Vidal can't drop him. For me personally, I don't have enough to pick Franco. I just don't. Outside of he looks cool. And he looks ripped in this picture where he's flexing really hard. But Outside of that, I don't have anything. He trains with Jonathan, that's it, and he seems aggressive and can run through a non-fighter on the ground. That's all I got. So I'm going to go with Vidal. I'll probably get to a small play. I don't have one yet, but like, look, can Franco come out here and just like take down Vidal and maul him? Entirely possible. Again, Jonathan was like +2 something going into his Dana White's Contender Series fight against a Russian undefeated Nasruddinov and ran through him. But I need to see more. I need to see more from Franco. If he beats Vidal, beats him dominantly, that'll be a start. That'll be a start. But for now, I'm going to go with Vidal. I'm going to go KO, and we'll go round 2, assuming Franco maybe gets tired. It's like, I just don't understand how you can make Franco -450 when you, like, if you're taping it, what do you, like, what? How? That's my only thing. And I like, there are some concerns with Vidal. He's coming in on short notice. This is like Franco's 3rd booked opponent for the Contender Series. Franco is clearly the A side. Franco is clearly the one the UFC is trying to get. It's not Vidal. And Vidal did miss weight. He missed weight by like 5 or 6 pounds. So those are concerning. But again, he was on short notice. It's probably why he missed weight. And I don't really care who the UFC is trying to sign because the UFC is also working with the same tape I am. They signed Cerquera. Okay. So doesn't mean everything to me that he's the A side for the UFC. Again, I can understand why people might favor him because Vidal also doesn't look the greatest. And Franco, again, at least he looks the part. But to go anything further than like 60%, you're just guessing. And I can't, I don't know. I don't like it. So I'm just going to go with Vidal, maybe out of spite, but it is what it is. This should be a fun fight, at least. Next up, we have Cam Teague versus Lerryan Douglas. Remember when I said this would be 10 to 20 minutes? And then I went on a 10-minute rampage about why I hate Felipe Franco's record. But okay, we have Cam Teague versus Lerryan Douglas. Cam Teague, 9-1-0, 27 years old, 5'10" with a 69-inch reach. On the other side, Douglas, he's going to be 12-5-0. He's going to be 3 years older at 30. He's going to have a 1-inch height disadvantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. What's up, Jackson? Good to see you, brother. So, good fight. Really good fight. I think the line's kind of crazy. I'll be honest. Like, Douglas, he's always been an underdog, at least in recent fights and most of his fights in LFA. I remember when he was fighting Isaac Thompson. I really remember taping that one in particular. I remember his fights with Reyes. That was much more recent. He had the Johns fight. That was much more recent. And then all those, he was an underdog. I'm pretty sure he was the dog to Tenya. The guy who lost to Roberto Romero, also a solid fighter, though. He was the dog to, what's his name? Computer froze up. Garib, he was a dog there. He's a good fighter. His takedown defense, has needed some work, but it's improved. And it's not like Cam's going to come out here and wrestle. That's not his game at all. This is going to be a striking affair. I'm 99% certain about it. And Douglas is a good striker. He's got a ton of power, crazy amount of power, good jab. A lot of the strikes are loopy. If you're throwing straight strikes, you're probably going to get to the target first. The problem is he's still going to land most likely, and that might hurt because he does hit really hard. Solid body work too, decent kicks, good leg kicks. It really comes down to power, and that's why he's favored here. I don't know how you get to that much of a favorite. Like, yeah, he's gotten way better wins than Cam Teague does. I think Cam Teague's best win is probably Austin Lingo. Lerryan Douglas, a lot of good wins, especially recently. So he's definitely has the better wins, definitely hits much harder. He's probably a better striker, but it's like his output's pretty low for Douglas. He starts pretty slow. He's looking for that big shot a lot of the time. That's why he's not getting a lot of first round finishes. And he's just waiting for the moment. Then he'll start to land a little bit big and then he'll start to go. But it's like, it's not comparable really to me to like Vallejos against Teague, right? Where Vallejos is just digging the body, then going upstairs. You have that same combo over and over again. Uppercut to the body, and then the overhand right, over and over, and it worked. But I don't really see those kinds of combinations from Douglas. I don't really see that. Like he's just looking for the big shot, and he gets it. He sets it up well. But I don't really consider him like some super slick boxer like I do with Vallejos. Vallejos is a very slick boxer. I don't really feel that way with Douglas. And Cam Teague was on short notice against Vallejos, and he was less of an underdog. He's more of a dog now against who I consider as not as good as Vallejos, not skill-wise, at least not at all. Like power, yeah, Douglas maybe even hits harder than Vallejos, but I don't think he's a better striker than Vallejos. I don't see him putting together combinations like that. I don't see him putting output together like that. And I don't see him coming out hot like that in the first round, at least not as hard. With Cam Teague, technique-wise, he's actually pretty nice, at least with the offense. His defense is horrible. We all know that. That's why he's such a big dog. He's very, very hittable, and he relies on his toughness. He's one of those guys who will take all your shots, and then if he survives, then he'll beat up on you once you get a little bit more tired. He's got good body work, good body kicks. That's going to be necessary. We've seen Lerryan Douglas struggle with the body work. Isaac Thompson, that's kind of how we started to get him there, the body shots. And even when, in that finishing sequence when I believe Thompson hit him with like a body shot or like a kick or something, and then he fell over. Douglas didn't chase him. Douglas was just frozen, stayed there with his back against the fence, waited for Thompson to come back and beat up on him again, and then get him out of there. So it's not like Douglas can't be hurt in his own right. And it's not like Douglas, I just feel like he could be hit. He can struggle with the body shots. I think that if Cam Teague comes out here, survives the early, flurries, survives the early flurries in the second round, keeps his strikes straight, he'll be beating Douglas to the punch. I think his output's higher. I think his work rate is higher. I think his pace, his pressure is going to be a good weapon here. And I really do think that Cam Teague is live. Like, I'm not going to pick him outright because I think Douglas is probably the better fighter, the harder hitter, but I guess the better striker. Again, I'm not completely sold on that, but I'll lean his way. I'll lean towards him getting an early finish, but I could 100% see the over hitting, the over 1.5. I know it's plus money now. People love the under. I get it. Teague very hittable. Douglas hits like a train. Get it. 1 + 1 = 2. But Teague is durable. For Vallejos, it's not like he just landed a shot to the chin and put him out. How many times did he hit that body head combination before Teague finally started fading a bit? It was 5 times, I think. So I could see the overhitting, and I could see Teague taking over late. So we'll see. I don't have anything right now. I'm going to feel it out. I'm not rushing towards any bets on this card because I just don't think it's that great of a betting card. But if you have live betting for Contender Series, Teague could be great. I don't, so I don't have that option. But maybe a small shot on Teague, maybe a play on the over. We'll see depending on the line movement. I'll pick Douglas, though. I do rate his power. I do rate him as a fighter. I think he's good. I don't want to come off as any other way. He's definitely a good fighter, but I just think the line's kind of crazy. If Vallejos wasn't -700, why is Douglas -700? I get it. You can say we have more information now, but do we really? Going into the Vallejos fight, we already knew that Cam Teague is a punching bag. We saw that in the Lingo fight. So what information did we really get in the Vallejos fight that now Douglas should be a bigger favorite than Vallejos? I don't know. What's good, Pick'em? Good to see you in here, brother. Good luck to you as well. All right, we got our main event, Anthony Guarascio versus Steven Asplund. Anthony, he's going to be 3-0, undefeated. He's 31 years old, 6'2" with a 77-inch reach. Asplund 5-1-0. He's 27, so he's going to be 4 years younger. He's going to be 3 inches taller. He was quite a bit taller, and he's going to have a 1-inch reach advantage. Interesting fight, honestly. Interesting fight. I'm relatively familiar with Anthony because I wanted to interview him once. I hit him up on Instagram. He never answered me, I'm pretty sure, but that's okay. It happens. Or actually, he might have answered me, but it didn't work out for some reason. I don't remember. Let me check. No, that's too much. Okay, I'll check later. But anyways, I'm pretty familiar with him, but I did tape him today as well. And it's Anthony's good. It's just I don't have a ton of info. I don't have a ton of tape on him. And from what I can see, he's a solid striker. He hits very hard, clearly, but it's a lot of overhand rights. It's a lot of hooks. He does have a good jab. He'll jab, 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 and then overhand, overhand, overhand. Don't see a ton of body work out of him. Don't see a ton of kicks. And he does seem like he can be hit. I don't know much about his grappling either, but Asplund's not really a wrestler, so that's not much of a concern. On the Asplund side, decent amount of tape. I will say I do think he's fought the better level of competition. He's fought Guarascio, he has the win over Schoenfelder, so that's a good win. But again, that was a first-round finish. Can't really take a ton from it. I don't know how Anthony's going to look extended. And Asplund, the guys he's fighting in LFA are pretty solid. They're nothing special. They're not high level, but they're okay. They're decent as far as heavyweights on the regional scene go. Definitely better than the guys Felipe Franco's fighting, I'll tell you that much. But with Asplund, and even in that loss he has, Denzel Freeman, Freeman can wrestle and Freeman can grapple. And from what I've seen, that's not really Anthony's game. Also, Anthony apparently trains in his gym, which is a whole nother story, but to each his own. If it works for you, it works. And it's not like Anthony's a skill guy. He's a power guy. He's a power guy, explosive guy. But with Asplund, he's pretty good. Like I like his striking quite a bit. I wasn't familiar with him going into the tape. I didn't really know what to expect. I saw the face-offs today. I saw that he's much bigger. Not the most ripped guy, but he's a fighter and you can tell. And for a heavyweight, he moves well. He's quick. He's got really good output. His cardio seems solid. He does slow down. Like you can already see in the second round, he's breathing heavy. But even though he's breathing heavy, he's still throwing. He's still going. I believe he's got a decision win in there. I was just looking at it. This is the fight I taped right before the show. Yeah, he's got the one decision over Gonzalez. And then a pretty solid amateur record as well. But he's got a good jab. Solid jab. He follows it up well with the shots. Good straight shots for the most part. Decent amount of power. I like the body work a lot, and I think that would be a good weapon here. As long as he doesn't let Anthony back him up against the fence and just throw bombs, I feel like Steven can 100% compete here. I don't love that his chin is kind of high. Like, I don't love that, and he hasn't really fought a crazy hitter so far in his career, and Anthony's probably the hardest hitter. So I do kind of think that Anthony's going to come out here and just deck him and knock him out. But at the same time, if he can just survive a few of those big shots, I feel like the body work is going to cause problems for Anthony. The cardio will cause problems. The pace can cause problems. The output can cause problems. And I just feel like I've seen more from Asplund. I've seen more in terms of combinations. Just like he just seems like out of the two guys who can put together a competent 15-minute performance on the feet, I lean towards it being Asplund. Who do I trust a little bit more out of the first round? Asplund. Who do I trust if we're getting all the way to the third? Asplund. So like my initial reaction post tape was Anthony KO1. So I feel like that's what I should fill in here. But again, it's like mostly a guess. It's mostly just an assumption. Like, yeah, Steve keeps the chin up. Anthony hits hard. He'll come in, knock him out, game over. But I can see Asplund winning this fight 100%. If the line comes back in on Anthony, I've seen a lot of money come in today on Asplund, and I understand it 100%. Like plus 160, that's not bad on him. Now he's plus 130. Now I have less interest because, again, I think Guarascio's got the heavier weapons, but Asplund, I would say, is a little bit more of a put-together fighter. Definitely the more tested fighter out of the two of them. So I guess I'll lean with my gut reaction of the KO one for Anthony, but I think Asplund can win this fight as well. And I don't hate the dog shot on him. I'm probably going to stay away unless something crazy happens, but that's the way I lean. All right, so that's it. That's Dana White's Contender Series Week 5. Not my favorite card in the world, but is what it is. I'm happy to have fights on a Tuesday, so I won't complain. We have, in terms of my picks, we'll go through them one more time. Sorry for all the stumbling today. I'm tired. Been a long day. We got Shanelle Dyer. That's my first one. Leaning Sanches. Not super confident, though. We're going with Vidal because screw Franco and his padded record. Douglas, but dog or pass. And Guarascio, I guess, but dog or pass. And that's it for me. Thank you, guys. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow going live, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Well, I haven't decided yet if I want to compete. If I want to go live at the same time as Contender Series or not. Like, I like my Tuesday time at 8 o'clock. I don't really like doing it on Wednesday. So I'm probably going to stick to tomorrow, and I'll probably do it at 8. I think I'll just stick to it. And if you have a computer and you're watching Dana White's Contender Series on the TV, pull me up. Let's talk some UFC Noche. But yeah, Dyer, Sanches, dog or pass. No, Sanches, Vidal, Douglas, but dog or pass, and Guarascio, but dog or pass. Peace out, guys.